October 17th, we have an intense full moon in the freedom-loving, independent, passionate fire sign of Aries, featuring a cardinal grand cross, which means this full moon is going to be challenging. There is no doubt about it, my friend. You may be finding yourself at a crossroads. You may be saying there is something that you are just done with. I've been hearing this from clients in readings and coaching. I am so done with this. I'm not continuing with this. I can't go back to this. This is the signature of this full moon. Alternatively, you could feel pressured to make a decision, take an action, know which direction you're going. This full moon is calling us to reclaim our power and to release, let go of anything that has been holding us back from following our heart's desire. So in this video, I'm going to share with you who will most feel this full moon in Aries. I'm going to break down the aspects for you, the cardinal grand cross, as well as the supportive aspects, because there are some. Talk about how you can navigate the energies with the most ease and grace. And I have tips for you on how we can empower ourselves through this intense full moon. In part 2 of the video, I will be doing, as always, readings for all 12 signs, pulling an oracle card for each of the signs as well. But be sure you watch part 1 of this video, because this is like the first half of your 12 sign readings, and I don't want you to miss some of the most important astrology behind this full moon. So before we dive in, I want to say hello and welcome if you're new to the channel. I'm so glad you have found us. This is a like-minded community. It is always my goal to empower you through Western tropical astrology. I'm Betsy. I am a psychic astrologer as well as an intuitive life coach and the author of the book, The Magic of Saying Yes, Answering Your Heart's True Calling, which is very much in tune with the energy of this Aries full moon. I do astrology consultations as well as clarity coaching. So stay tuned till the end of the video. I will tell you more about the astrology readings that I offer as well as my coaching. And I have a free gift for you, and I will tell you all about the free gift at the end of the video. I also write about the astrology between videos in my weekly inspirational astrology updates. So if you'd like to get those and receive your free gift, which is an instant download, go to my website, sign up for free to those updates, and you will get your free gift right away. All full moons are culminations, endings, something coming full circle, a graduation moment, or something coming to fruition, a manifestation. We tend to feel full moons more emotionally and in our relationships because they are oppositions. Oppositions meaning that the sun is opposite the moon on the zodiac wheel. And in this case, we have the sun in Libra, relationship focused Libra, where we just had the solar eclipse October 2nd. And the moon in independent, I have to go my way, Aries. So you can see the inherent opposition there. The goal always is to balance the two energies of the sun and the moon. What I most want, Aries, and what is best for our partnership, our relationship as a whole. Now, the moon, which is in Aries, rules our emotions. So emotionally during this full moon, we are likely to feel fired up. Our emotions will be amplified. Aries is cardinal fire. Cardinal is I'm starting something new. I'm initiating something. Aries, after all, initiates the season of spring. It is growth. It's new life. It is spring blooming, after all. And fire, think about how quickly fire moves. A fire can come seemingly out of nowhere. And it can grow really quickly because Aries is passionate, inspired energy. It's like once you get that divine download or that inspired idea that someone else shares with you, if it ignites a spark within you, in Aries, you are off and running. So this means that life can change very quickly with an Aries full moon, especially on the heels of a solar eclipse in Libra, which jump-started a brand new chapter for many of us. It's notable too that Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars rules the physical body. So again, movement. 2 of my grandsons, 2.5 and 4 years old, have Mars and Aries. The first thing they want to do when they get up in the morning is get in their trucks outside. They have these play trucks that they can drive around, battery operated. The first thing they want to do is get outside and drive their trucks all around the property. They just want to go on a journey. They just want to move. That is so Aries. It's very possible that during this full moon, you will want more physical movement. You may feel super motivated to strengthen your body, to get back in shape. Aries takes us straight to the question of what is your heart's desire? Aries rules desire. It's passion. It's getting an impulse that uplifts you. You'll hear many astrologers say Aries can be too impulsive. Well, what is the root word of impulsive? Impulse. This is how we get our ideas and inspiration in Aries. We get an impulse, and then we want to act immediately on that impulse without asking questions, without thinking too much thinking. Aries is not about thinking. Aries is about doing. And because we are at the end of an era, Pluto is leaving Capricorn. It's about to go into Aquarius for good, just 1 month from this full moon. Because of this, many of us are ready for that next new thing. A new thing that could feel like a hero's journey, that could feel challenging, that you're not sure if you can succeed at it, but you want to try it. You're up for the challenge. You are ready to take a risk. For too long, you may feel like you've compromised something or you've suppressed your desire. Maybe you were focused on other things. Maybe you were not giving yourself permission to follow your heart. Maybe you were more focused on a relationship or a partnership keeping the peace, making the other person happy. If that's the case, this full moon may feel like you're being cut loose or you're cutting yourself loose. Because Aries also rules the courage to follow your heart and making a bold move. The lower octave of Aries energy is frustration and anger. We very well will feel some of this frustration and anger during this full moon, and I'm going to tell you why when we get to the aspects. We want to watch out for constructive use of our anger as well as not burning out our adrenals. And not being such a lone ranger that we cut ourselves off from or alienate ourselves from the support of those who truly have our back. So I want to take you back for a moment to the Libra solar eclipse that we just had on October 2nd. This full moon is just 2 weeks later. That solar eclipse asked us to end something, let something go, so that we could create room for a brand new chapter or a new life direction. I believe this Aries full moon is going to give us the energy or push us even into that ending if we haven't done it yet. Maybe you got an exciting idea or inspiration during the solar eclipse, and now you have fears that are coming up around it. This full moon wants you to process those fears. You can also go back to 6 months ago when we had a new moon in Aries. That was April 8th of 2024. That new moon was a solar eclipse. And you can look back to that time and think about what were you wanting then? What was your heart desiring? Did you start something new then? Did you take any sort of action in the direction of what you wanted? Because this full moon may very well be a culmination or a manifestation of whatever you began, at least in your heart and mind, back in April of this year. Alternatively, you could be taking another step in the direction of something that was ignited for you last April, and you're now going to be taking yet another step in that direction, and this could fully manifest, fully play out when we have the next and the very last eclipse in Aries in March of 2025. So who will most feel this full moon in Aries that is happening at 24 degrees of Aries? Those of you who have planets or points between 19 and 29 degrees of Aries or the other cardinal signs of Libra, Cancer, or Capricorn, you will feel this full moon most personally, i.e. intensely. However, we all do have Aries somewhere in our natal astrology chart, which I'm going to share with you in the 12 sign readings based on your rising sign. So we will all be feeling this full moon to a certain degree. And because the aspects are so intense, we're going to feel this collectively. So let's talk about those aspects, shall we? The most prominent aspect of this full moon is what we call a cardinal grand cross. We call it cardinal because it involves the other cardinal signs, and we call it a grand cross because it's made up of two oppositions. Not only this, but the two oppositions, which I'm going to share with you in a moment, create two T-squares. In plain language, this means that the moon in Aries is going to be opposite, opposing the sun in Libra. And then we also have another opposition with Mars in Cancer, making an opposition to Pluto in Capricorn. So that's where we get the cross. Additionally, Mars in Cancer and Pluto in Capricorn square both the sun and the moon. What does this all mean? These are two push-pull energies. You know what it feels like when you're in a power struggle. You know what it feels like when you're in a conflict and nobody will give in. It could feel like a stalemate. It could feel like you have 4 different sides of you that all want different things. Or it could just feel tight. It could just feel like I'm being pulled in a lot of different directions. I'm having trouble deciding, or I'm having trouble balancing my various priorities. A cardinal grand cross can also be a karmic reckoning. You could call this instant karma, where you or someone else makes a move and it almost instantly plays out. However we describe it, we often have no choice but to come face to face with the depths of a dynamic in a relationship or a dynamic within ourselves. Now, the planets involved and the signs that they're in tell us even more about how we can most gracefully navigate this challenging energy. Mars rules this full moon and it is in Cancer, which is super emotionally sensitive. Mars in Cancer attaches. It attaches to what it wants. Cancer energy often looks backward. It's very nostalgic. It looks at the past. And it doesn't want the past to repeat. It wants safety and security. It wants to know that it is emotionally held and protected. And Cancer energy is home and family focused. The beauty of Mars in Cancer is strong intuition. So pay attention to your gut feelings. Pay attention to anything that feels off to you. That is a sign to delve deeper, to ask more questions, to do more research. Because Aries energy doesn't want to ask questions, it just wants to go. But Mars in Cancer squaring the full moon is actually going to require us to pause and feel into our body's wisdom. The other thing to keep in mind about the sun and the moon T-squaring Mars is that Mars supports cutting ties to anything that is unhealthy for us. It will help us to get out of or end anything that is toxic, whether it is a situation, a relationship, a job, a health predicament, an addiction, a pattern of overwork, for example. It's also going to give us the courage to advocate for ourselves or advocate for a loved one, and to ignite our drive for whatever it is that's lighting us up and to prioritize our own well-being. The other way this T-square could play out is that a family member or close person in your life is resisting or opposing what you most want to go after. You could have someone in your life that is clinging to you or attached to you doing something a certain way, and so you have to work through your own inner conflict, possibly, or somehow reach a balance with the other person. It can be like a teeter-totter. Somehow reach a balance where you're still able to stay true to yourself, but also bring harmony to the relationship. If that's possible, that's not always possible. If there's an imbalance that can't be rectified, it's the Aries energy that will probably win out because it's an Aries full moon. The North Node is in Aries, and we are all being, as we have been for almost 2 years now, strongly encouraged to follow our North Star. Some of us are going to have last straw moments. Some of us are going to be done with making excuses for ourselves, for other people, why we haven't said yes to our heart until this point. Some of us are going to realize that we are no longer on the same wavelength, at the same vibration, on the same timeline, lots of ways of saying the same thing as another person, and maybe that other person in their own growth will catch up to us, but for now, we may feel like we have to leave someone or something behind. Now, the other T-square that is going on is the Aries moon and Libra sun making a square to Pluto and Capricorn, which will be direct as of October 11th. I have a separate video for you on all of the key dates of October, so check that out if you haven't yet. But because as of October 17th, this full moon time, we will be just 1 month away from Pluto leaving Capricorn and going into Aquarius for good. Because of this, you could experience during this full moon a power play, a power struggle, someone's last-ditch effort to dominate, or your last-ditch effort to take control of something that is completely out of your control that you just have to accept and let go of and surrender to. You could experience emotional manipulation, or you could have a test, a Pluto test. For example, someone could come back, an ex or an old friend who you have already separated from could come back into your life. Maybe they come back and they say, I've changed, I've grown, and you feel pulled back in to them. And like most of what's going to happen during this full moon, boundaries are going to be incredibly important for us. Many of you I know have experienced painful losses during Pluto and Capricorn's stint from 2008 up until now. And so you know that Pluto can deliver shocks. If not a shock, it will show you a truth that you can't go back from, that you can't unsee once you've seen it. Pluto, like Saturn, is connected to karma with a cardinal grand cross, and Pluto in Capricorn, Capricorn being ruled by Saturn. This Aries full moon could feel to you like a full circle moment. You could see karma playing out, or you could feel like you're receiving justice. Many of us will experience an I'm just done final ending, or you could feel like you're shedding another layer of skin, another ego death, which is an old self that is dying, a self that had certain coping mechanisms, certain strategies, survival, ways to survive that you don't need anymore because you have evolved at the soul level. Thank goodness. So this full moon could feel like you are dropping an old coat that you have worn for years. And I want to say you could miss this coat. It's like if you've ever donated something and a year later you're like, why did I donate that? I really like that. It was so cute. But in that moment of missing it, you forget that it was made of wool and it was really itchy on your skin. It was scratchy and it had holes in it. There's a reason that you let it go. So this Grand Cross, as tense as it may feel, as much as it may feel like pressure that's pushing us up against the wall, it's actually moving us forward in our soul growth. And this is further validated by the fact that the full moon is going to make a conjunction to Chiron in Aries. Conjunctions are both energies are on the same page. They're working together. The moon is working together with Chiron to heal something, a core wound, abandonment, betrayal, or shame. You may say, I've already done that. I've already healed that. That's like, I've done lots of healing on that. I feel you, my friend. Me too. But as a spiritual coach once said to me, there are many layers. What I love about this Chiron aspect is that every time we feel an insecurity, a tenderness, or an ouch, an emotional trigger, we have the opportunity to free ourselves emotionally that much more. And if any of these aspects, my friend, that I'm talking about make you brace yourself for this full moon or clench or say, oh, I hope this full moon isn't painful for me, which would be very natural. That's what the human self does. I encourage you, and I'm certainly going to be doing this myself, to proactively process the emotions of those fears. I think a lot of us looking at this full moon may be afraid that we're not going to get our needs met in some way. That's a fear that we can tap through. That's a fear that we can journal out. That's a fear that we can speak out loud, process, and release. When we're in the middle of a tense full moon, we forget that we always have options. We always have options. They may not be the ones that we are clinging to, Mars in Cancer. They may not be the ones that we feel we absolutely need. We depend on this. I can't live without this, Pluto in Capricorn. But remember, Libra solar eclipse, we're opening up to a whole new chapter. We are rising to the level of the next greatest version of who we came here to be. In other words, we are going into new territory, North Node in Aries. We're headed into a place that is brand new for us on a soul level. So of course we're going to have fears rise up. Of course there are going to be things in our life that we can't take with us. That's just part of the soul evolution process. But we can be conscious about it. We can turn on that observer self and go, oh, there's a part of me, my human self is really afraid of what this full moon is going to do. I hope it doesn't take this away or that away, or I hope that this person doesn't turn on me, or that thing I'm so excited about doesn't fall through. We can observe, oh, there's a part of me who's really afraid of all these things. But that part of me isn't my true self. And I can sit with and process those fears. Take back my power and align with my higher self, my spirit, and get the divine guidance that I need to show me what are my other options. If something isn't part of my new trajectory, rejection is God's protection, for this new era, Spirit, show me what is. This full moon does have some supportive aspects. For example, it's going to harmonize with Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. That is potentially a new opportunity. Jupiter in Gemini, the magician, the alchemist, turning dross into gold, rewriting the story of who you are now since you have evolved through 15 years of Pluto and Capricorn. A story that's based on a new identity of who you are, my friend, as a spiritual warrior. If you have been through it, and I know the cardinal signs know what I'm talking about, or if you have any planets or points in the cardinal signs, it's time to claim the power that you created through all of the shedding that you have done over these many years. You have earned this graduation moment. And along with this new story that we can rewrite, acknowledging the truth about who we are now, we can do affirmations. I am deserving. The universe wants me to have this heart's desire. As challenging as this Grand Cross is going to be, there's also a theme of tapping into the divine and renewing your faith in the universe, in spirit, whatever you call the creator. Your faith and inner knowing that truly there is a higher power that is guiding you, that has your back. Transiting Venus in Scorpio at 29 degrees is going to make a trine, positive energy flow, wind at your back, with Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Venus trine Neptune, very romantic, passionate. It activates our creative imagination. Beautiful for creating anything artful. Lovely for beauty, for money, and also helping us to tap into our compassion, our forgiveness, more ease in the emotional cleansing and release that many of us will be doing. The only thing to be mindful of with Venus trine Neptune is that we want to merge our energy, and you could want to merge your energy with a romantic interest, so be mindful of boundaries. Venus is also sextiling Pluto. Now, really interesting, right? Because Pluto is squaring this full moon and it's opposing Cancer, but there's a sextile between Venus and Pluto, and Venus in Scorpio is willing to do the deep dive. She's willing to get to the root of the issue. She wants to be in her power. She wants to do the emotional release and cleansing. She wants it out of her body's energy. She wants it out of her life. So this is a release valve for the Grand Cross. This is going to help us to release the tension. It's going to remind us or open us up to strategies for healing. And it may also, because it's a sextile, if we do the proactive, if we're proactive and we take a step, we use a tool, we relieve the tension and pressure, this could also bring us a new opportunity or a solution. And not only this, Venus is very much delivering a healing bomb during this full moon. Venus is also making a sextile to Uranus retrograde in Taurus. Uranus retrograde in Taurus is connected to love, beauty, pleasure, comfort. Venus harmonizing with Uranus retrograde. If you don't know what your options are, tune into that cosmic intelligence, because there is a workaround. There is a creative solution. There is a new opportunity. This is support for Venus, which is what we love, from 3 different outer planets: Neptune, Pluto, Uranus retrograde in Taurus. So my final tips before we get to the 12 sign readings. We are entering a new era. We are being called to be fiercely honest with ourselves. Anything that isn't giving back what we're giving to it, that is not respecting or honoring you in a way that you truly deserve to be loved, appreciated, and cherished even, in order to move forward on our Libra solar eclipse, new direction, new chapter, new idea or possibility, we are tasked. We must let go, release anything that is not respecting, honoring, and giving back what we're putting into it. God only upgrades, and as Joseph Campbell so famously said, you must be willing to let go of the life you planned on so as to embrace the life that is waiting for you. So let's do the 12 sign readings now. Listen to your rising sign. This is going to tell you the area of life, the area of your natal chart in which this full moon is happening for you. Also, listen to your sun sign and your moon sign for further intuitive messages. And we're going to start with Aries, because Aries, this is your full moon. Aries, you are having an ending, a culmination, something that feels like a graduation full circle moment, or a manifestation in your first house of identity. You will likely be feeling this in terms of a new role or a role, and this could be a title, either professional or personal in your family life, for example, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, parent, child, you get the idea. You could let go of a role, you could take on a new job so you have a new title, you could start a new business, you could close out your business and retire. You could begin or end a relationship. You could take a relationship to the next level. Why am I mentioning partnerships, relationships? Because the solar eclipse that we just had in Libra was the jump starting of both an ending and a new chapter for you in your relationships and partnerships. And this isn't just ending a relationship, this can also be taking a relationship to a more committed level or shifting it in some way. During this full moon, you are balancing both. You're balancing your sense of identity. What is lighting you up right now, Aries? What is giving you a spark? Where do you want to go in this brand new territory of the North Node in Aries, which isn't going to be here for much longer? Where are you being guided? Where do you want independence and freedom? That's one end of the balance, the teeter-totter, so to speak. The other end is your partnerships. We're trying to balance both during this full moon, but we are cutting out, as I spoke about in part 1 of this video, go back and watch that if you haven't already. We are very much guided to cut out, to cut ties, to release anything that is unhealthy or toxic for us, that is holding us back from fully experiencing what our hearts most desire. So, beautiful Aries, I am now going to shuffle for you and we're going to see what the cards have to say for you. What is your message? This is a big letting go, emotionally releasing full moon, no question. I talk all about the aspects, the challenging ones, the supportive ones, and how we can work with those energies in part 1 of this video. So Aries, let's see what the cards have to say for you. Aries, your card is, the Garden of Venus, rest and renewal. So Aries, this card is saying, and when I look at this card, I see a portal. I see all of this light. I see you heading into the light. But first, the message of this card is to step back, reflect, and get more in tune with who you really are, your true self. All of this beauty, there are a lot of butterflies. This card signifies reflection and transformation, but it's also about going deeper to really get to the core of who you really are. Because there is a new soul essence that wants to be birthed through you and every one of us during this full moon. And without this time of rest, renewal, and reflection, Aries, you may create from the old you rather than from the new you that is ready to be birthed into form. So if you're ready to claim the new you, beautiful Aries, leave a comment, claim it in the comments below. I would love to hear. Pisces, hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces, you are going to experience the full moon in Aries in your second house. The second house rules your material security. This is tied to your values, your self-worth, what you feel that you deserve, and also your earned income. So this full moon is asking you to release or let go of anything that makes you feel less than, anything that is what we would call low self-esteem, anything that is keeping you from going after what you know you want in your heart of hearts, and what you know you, and you know, this is can connect to under-earning too, if that's been part of your past. This is a brand new slate. This is a whole new era that we're entering. And during the solar eclipse in Libra that we just had, that took place in your 8th house of money from others, intimacy, emotional and physical with a partner, but also a money house as well, investments, assets, loans, taxes. So you, during this full moon in Aries, you are balancing your own need and desire to feel self-reliant with how you share resources, money, time, and energy with a partner. And this 8th house is transformation. So you may have gone through or be going through right now, because the full moon in Aries is happening just 2 weeks after the solar eclipse in Libra. They're all part of the same energy, really. So you may be going through a real transformation right now, Pisces. The thing to remember is that this Aries full moon wants us to be true to ourselves. It wants us to see without the rose-colored glasses on. It wants us to be fiercely honest and see the truth, because it is time for us to claim and move into what our heart truly wants and what the next chapter, what our future self is guiding us towards. So I am now going to shuffle for you, beautiful Pisces. And yes, there is an intense cardinal grand cross going on during this full moon, and I speak about how you can move through that energy with the most ease and grace in part 1 of this video. Okay, so let's see. Pisces. Pisces, your card is a tidy house, clarity, and organization. So cool. And it is the number 1. So number 1, before you do anything, your marching orders are, beautiful Pisces, to tidy up your house, to clear clutter, to organize your things, because that is going to open you up for more creativity. Do you see all the orange here? That is the soul lives in the hips. That is the 2nd chakra. That is your creativity. And it's over here where it's all orange that the lights are on. That's going to bring more magic into your life. That is going to reignite the spark for you. Especially if you have taxes to do, especially if you have something heavy hanging over you, which we often do with 8th house energy, which is a cross. It's where the sun in Libra is. It's where the solar eclipse was. There may be something that you need to wrap up with a partner, or wrap up with a business partner, or wrap up in your money, your financial affairs. So if this resonates, beautiful Pisces, leave me a comment below. Let me know. I would love to hear. Aquarius, 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 you are having this full moon in Aries. It's a fiery full moon, super intense, in your 3rd house. Your 3rd house is a lot of things, but big picture, it is communication, your inner communication with yourself, the story you tell about yourself, as we call it, the inner narrative. It is also your emails, your phone calls, your networking that you do with other people. It rules relationship-wise, it rules siblings, aunts, uncles, and cousins, and your mindset. During this full moon, as I speak about in part 1 of this video, there are many aspects going on. One of them is Jupiter making a positive energy flow, harmonizing with the full moon. And Jupiter in Gemini is all about our mindset and our inner narrative. So one thing that could be super helpful for you, Aquarius, I'm giving you an assignment, is to write a new story of who you are. Who are you now that Pluto is leaving Capricorn and will be entering your sign, Aquarius? Talk about a brand new era. You are about to move into a very transformational time. Who are you now? Who do you want? Who do you need to be to create what you most want? What qualities? Your future self. Aquarius, you are very good at looking into the future. Your sign rules the future. Tap into your future self. Get a sense of who you are becoming, and that's going to help you move through the stresses, if you're feeling them, of this full moon. Now, this full moon does make a sextile to your energy, which is really beautiful, positive flow. With sextiles, we have to take action. We have to be proactive. But if you get an idea, or you find yourself in some sort of a bind, or you need to release an obstacle, the sextile says, talk to people, ask the questions, look around you, see where the opportunity is, and go for it, and you will succeed. During this full moon, you are balancing these 3rd house energies, which is also, by the way, writing, such as a blog or doing a website. You're balancing this with the 9th house energies, which is where the solar eclipse happened for you. And that was expansion, spiritual, higher spiritual learning, courses that you might take, degree programs, also long distance travel, traveling or even moving to another country. You're balancing both of these energies. You're balancing your local environment, the things you have to do, maybe stuff you have to clean up, maybe logistical things that you need to take care of. You're balancing that with a more expansive vision of what you want to create in your next chapter going forward. Beautiful Aquarius. So let go of what needs to be let go. Let go of the toxic, of what needs clearing, of what isn't healthy for you, because with the solar eclipse that we just had in your 9th house, there's got to be, I'm guessing, something really exciting for you that you really want to create or that you're looking forward to. Leave me a comment. Let me know. I would love to hear. In your 3rd house, the local environment, your communication, your mindset, that's where there may be something to detoxify, so to speak. Or maybe you are healing a relationship or releasing a relationship with a sibling, aunt, uncle, or cousin. And as I was shuffling, a card flipped over. This is your card, Aquarius. It is the Dream Thief, Refusal of the Call. This is such a cool card. First of all, look at the creativity in this card. Look at all the colors. This is a call to tap into your creativity. But what is the message? What is the other message is, are you refusing the call of your soul? The dream thief, that is, you have a dream and yet your mind talks you out of it, Aquarius. Your mind gives you all the reasons that this isn't right for you, or all the reasons that you should doubt, or why you shouldn't go for this. This card is so compelling to me. I believe this is a bat and it is clinging to its comfort zone. It is clinging to what it knows. And yet it's time for you to move into new territory. Don't let the naysayers, including the naysayers in your own mind, Aquarius, talk you out of your dream. Maybe in the past you've refused the call of your soul, but this is a very blatant, strong, intense Aries full moon kind of message. Refusal of the call. Stop refusing the call. Go for it. Follow your heart. And if you need support, you can get my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, Answering Your Heart's True Calling, which really supports you if you have any inner demons or any excuses or reasons, the coulda, woulda, shouldas, that I'm too old, it's too late, I don't measure up, whatever it is. Get my book. It will help you move through and release some of that stuff. And that's what this Aries full moon wants you to do as well. Beautiful Aquarius, it's time to claim and answer the heart call of your soul. If you resonate with that and you want to claim it in the comments below. Capricorn, hello, beautiful Capricorn. Capricorn, this is a big full moon for you as well. It is for all of the cardinal signs. You are experiencing this in your 4th house of home, family, and childhood conditioning, your roots, your sense of belonging. This is the foundation of your chart. It's a very important place to have a full moon. And this means, and we already know this anyway, with Pluto leaving your sign, we already know that this is a big turning point for you, Capricorn. We already know this. You may experience during this full moon anything to do with your home or family. You may be moving, you may be cleansing, doing some healing work on your ancestral line. You may be asking, where do I belong now that I'm a new person, now that I have a new identity after Pluto moving through my sign? What do I want now? Where would I fit? Now, I want you to know that you could be asking these questions not just in your house of home and family, but also in your 10th house of career, legacy, retirement, or semi-retirement, or life purpose. What do I want to do now with my one precious and wild life, as Mary Oliver so beautifully says it? You could be feeling that in either of these houses, because part of this full moon energy is that we're balancing the energies of the career house and the 4th house. And again, that career house is not just a career that you get paid for. It's also vocation. It's also like when some people retire, they want to volunteer, they want to give back in some way. So it could be, you could feel like you're balancing both of these. You could feel that family members are pulling on you. You could feel like there is a sense of obligation, Capricorn. You have often Capricorns play a role of being the provider, the financial provider, sometimes the financial and emotional provider. It could be a lot of different ways in which you provide, but you do have a leadership energy, and you do often really feel responsible, a strong level of commitment, responsibility, dedication, and it's hard to let that go. And yet you could be called to, if that's not healthy for you anymore. For example, say that you are very much feeling responsible for an adult child or for someone in your life that is on their own soul journey and really needs to grow into their own responsibility. You could be called to step back, to not be quote unquote codependent, so that you can follow your own heart, so that you can step into the new territory. We all have new soul lessons now that we're going to be moving through as we go into this next chapter. The full moon makes a square to your energy, so you will be feeling, most likely, especially if you have planets or points in the high degrees where Pluto may be activating issues of power or powerlessness. And also because Mars in Cancer is opposing Pluto in Capricorn, you could feel the opposition, the square, the grand cross energy. I talk all about this in part 1 of the video and how we can best move through these energies, so I'm not going to repeat myself. Please go back and watch that if you haven't already. But the tension, the pressure you could be feeling is going to motivate you, Capricorn. I hope to make a change or take action that will help you to move forward in your life. And I know that's not easy, but we're all being called to do it. So let me now pull a card for you, beautiful Capricorn. Capricorn, your card is the Cosmic Womb, Divine Feminine. This card is very deep. This card is asking you to go deep. You know what's really interesting synchronistically is that the 4th house is often connected to the mother, and this is the Cosmic Womb. If you have any quote unquote mother issues, if you have any ancestral healing to do on your mother line, this card is calling you to open up to the truth that you are being mothered by the cosmic realms. There is a womb in which you can find what maybe you didn't receive when you were a child. The Divine Feminine wants to mother you. The Divine Feminine wants to bring you into her womb and do some healing on you, perhaps emotional healing. So this is really, really beautiful. It is very ethereal. You can barely see the image of this card. You could experience this through your dreams at night. You could experience this in meditation, or you could consciously do a process. I do have several guided meditations for you in which you could journey and meet a spiritual guide that takes you into this cosmic womb. All of my meditations, the playlist is linked in the description box below, but this is gorgeously healing for you, beautiful Capricorn. If you're ready to claim your healing from the cosmic womb, the Divine Feminine, leave me a comment below. Claim it in the comments below. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, beautiful Sagittarius. Oh my goodness, Sagittarius, you are having this Aries full moon in your 5th house of pleasure, fun, true love and romance, your creative expression, free, unbridled desire to express who you truly are. And this is also the house of children. This is where the full moon is happening. The full moon is bringing an ending, a culmination, something full circle for you. It could show up in any of these areas. Some of you, Sages, who want to get pregnant, this could end up being a pregnancy for you. Others of you could be giving birth or have conceived an idea or something that feels like a creative child. That could be going on for you as well. You could manifest a new love. You could start dating. The only caveat is we're being asked during this full moon to let go of any toxic patterns that have been holding us back. Where the Libra solar eclipse happened for you in your 11th house of friends and alliances, your tribe, hopes, wishes, and dreams, long-term financial gains. That is where you hatched a new dream, where you conceived of a new dream during the solar eclipse. And now you are balancing both. You are balancing what I would call the more personal house of pleasure, children, creative expression. You're balancing that with putting that expression out into the world, the 11th house. You're getting a trine. You're getting a beautiful flowing trine. The wind is at your back during this full moon. So if you have something to release, if there is something that has been holding you back, unhealthy, toxic, and so on, it's going to be fairly easy for you to cut ties to whatever it is. You may have already done that, Sagittarius. You are being drawn forward by the fiery passion of Aries, which is so beautiful. So now let us see what the cards have to say for you, Sag, for your Aries full moon. Sagittarius. Your card is the Feast of Plenty, choices and their consequences. Wow, wow. What an interesting card to get for a 5th house full moon, which is all about feasting. It really is. The Feast of Plenty. Now, this is a really interesting card because you see the 2 swords, you see the air, and this is 20, which is partnership, high sensitivity, very psychic as well. I see 2 meanings to this card. First of all, you may really see a real abundant feast around this full moon time. You may be very aware of the choices that you've made in the past, and they could be bringing karmic blessings to you. At the same time, some of you could be experiencing the consequence of where you gave away your power, for example, where you said yes to something not knowing that it was toxic for you, or maybe knowing but taking advantage of the other benefits that were coming to you. And this card is saying you're going to see the light. There's so much light in this card. And of course, it looks like a crystal ball, but it also looks like a full moon. The swords in it are telling me that you're cutting ties to anything that's not healthy for you anymore. Beautiful Sag, let me know what you think of this card, the meaning, what you want to claim. If you're ready to claim your Feast of Plenty, if you're ready to receive the karmic blessings, the positive consequences of choices that you've made in the past where you have stayed true to your own integrity, leave me a comment in the comments below. We would all love to hear. Scorpio, hello, beautiful Scorpio. Scorpio, you are experiencing the full moon in Aries in your 6th house. This is the house of your daily habits, your wellness. This is the house where we release and let go of addictions or bad habits. This is where we are looking at our schedules and our routines, where sometimes we want more flexibility. We want more power over how our days go. You could experience that theme during this full moon. Also our wellness. So this is wellness on any level. The full moon is absolutely having you cut ties to anything that is toxic in your life, whether it is a job, work does fit here, whether it is a schedule or routine, maybe it's workaholism, maybe it is eating unhealthy foods, maybe it is emotional eating, as we call it, or you just not prioritizing you. Beautiful Scorpio. This full moon is calling an end to that. It wants you to cut ties to that, any addictions and so forth. You are balancing during this full moon your daily habits, work, and wellness with the 12th house where the sun is. The 12th house is your inner world, 6th house, outer world, inner world, 12th house, the spiritual realms, your subconscious mind conditioning, your divine connection. This means that a truth may be revealed. The sun in the 12th house is showing you your power. It's showing you perhaps the shadow side, but the shadow can also be our greatest strength. It can be a part of us that we haven't given attention to, that we haven't brought into the light yet. Or you could be releasing what we call a dark shadow that has been suffocating you on a certain level, emotionally or physically even. Venus and Mercury are both in your sign during this full moon, helping you to cleanse, purge, release, and rise above, move through anything that is ready for you to detoxify, beautiful Scorpio, if that is appropriate for you. There is definitely an emotional freedom that wants to come to you that is going to infuse your daily life and your work and your habits with so much more light and freedom and lightness, Scorpio. So watch the first half of the video if you haven't already. I go much more into the aspects and how you can move through these energies with ease and grace. Lots of tips for empowerment, but let's see what the cards have to say for you now. Scorpio, your card is the Spirit of the River, movement toward adventure. This card is saying you are on your way to a new adventure. It's best to move in the direction that the river is flowing, right? That's what this card is saying. What is the spirit of the river is that it's always in flow. It's always moving. And when there's an obstacle, the river moves around it. So you can move around any obstacle that may appear to be in its way. You're taking steps, you're moving, it's time to take action. You can also float down the river. It doesn't have to be a lot of effort. It doesn't have to be taxing to your body, mind, or spirit. You can flow, you can float, you can ask the river to carry you to your next adventure. And water, being your sign, beautiful Scorpio, is extremely cleansing. So I see a gorgeous cleansing for you here as well. Tune into the spirit of the river. The spirit of the river may have guidance for you as well. Let me know what you think of this card. And if you want to claim that you are moving toward your adventure, claim it in the comments below, beautiful Scorpio. Libra, hello, beautiful Libra. Libra, you are really going to be feeling this full moon as well in Aries. It makes an opposition to your energy. You just moved through the solar eclipse in your sign. This is a really important, very much of a turning point time in your life, a new chapter. This is really big for you. Now, you're having the full moon in the 7th house of partnerships, which means that you are really seeing the light or the truth if you haven't seen it already, and you are feeling the pressure, the tension that you must take action on whatever you see. We can't go back with Pluto. Again, I talk about the aspects in part 1 of this video, so go back and watch that if you haven't already. But this may feel to you like the last reveal by Pluto, the last straw for some of you, the last layer of cleansing, of purging, something that has not been supportive of you in your life, something that has even potentially felt toxic to you. You are experiencing this full moon's opposition to your first house of identity, yourself, where the solar eclipse happened for you, a new role, a new sense of who you are, a makeover for some of you, inside and out, it could be. This is you balancing, as we say with Aries Libra energy, the me and the we, the I and the us. You are balancing these energies. You are finding or striking, you're being called to strike a balance between what you most want and what you feel that others in your life want from you or with you. But you have to follow your truth, beautiful Libra. I know that's probably stating the obvious. You have to follow your truth, what you're being called to. You have to follow the spark of your heart. I mean, that's really what this comes down to, is where you're feeling inspired. And if your partner or friends or loved ones or anyone important to you, business partners, want to support you in what you're doing, perfect. If not, it's, I hate to use these words, but it's dead weight. If not, and that is a little bit callous. Let me think of another way of saying it. If not, then know that whatever you release, that's a little more genteel, isn't it? Libra, whatever you release, you will be meeting up with those people again in the next chapter of your life, or when you are on the other side together. I know, still easier said than done for our human selves. But Libra, there's a new soul essence in you that is ready to birth itself, and that could bring in partnerships or a partnership, business or personal, that is so much more in alignment with who you are. This isn't the case for all of you. You're all different. Some of you are not in a partnership, but the 7th house of partnerships is also any relationship in which you have their back and they have your back. So, or maybe they don't have your back, and that's what you're reaching a karmic reckoning with. So, beautiful Libra. Big picture, this is about you following your heart, and it will affect your partnerships, and let us see what the cards have to say for you. Libra, your card is experiencing life as it comes. It is time to go with the flow. This is the drifter. The drifter is seeking and searching. Are you doing soul searching right now, Libra? Are you trying to get connected with what it is you want most? Or do you feel that you're in sort of a no person's land? Or do you feel like you're in sort of a, like you're in the hallway, you're in the tunnel, you know that there's light, but you're not seeing the light? That is the drifter. Experiencing life as it comes is your medicine to not push the river, to not force yourself to be in a place that you're not, to allow yourself to drift a little bit, because when we drift, when we quote unquote feel lost, that's how we can be found. There's a part of you, your human self may feel lost. Your human self may not want to drift at all, may be very uncomfortable. After all, Libra, you're a cardinal sign. The cardinal signs do not want to drift. They want to have a plan. They want the steps to get there, and they want to accomplish and achieve. Cardinal signs are ambitious. They don't want to drift. So love the part of you that is afraid of drifting. Love the part of you that feels unproductive, if that's the case. Love the part of you that doesn't know which direction to go, because that is the part of you that needs your acceptance so that you can move through this tunnel and get into the light where your answers lie for you, beautiful Libra. Virgo, hello, beautiful Virgo, beautiful Virgo. You are experiencing the Aries full moon in your 8th house of shared money and resources with another. The 8th house is a partnership house. It is the house of power. It's where we negotiate, where we deal with sometimes very uncomfortable feelings when it comes to sharing resources with another person. This could be a business partner. This could be somebody that is helping you with your finances. This could be somebody that you have an emotional or physical or both bond with. But this is a very primal house. This is where we deal with things that we often don't want to talk about. We may not even discuss sometimes with our partners. This is what takes us into a death and rebirth transformation, because when these things come up, they can be challenging to deal with. This is where the full moon is happening though for you. So very commonly, a full moon in the 8th house is a truth is revealed about a partner. A truth is revealed about ourselves. We understand we have to reckon with the fact that maybe we don't feel comfortable anymore in this partnership. Maybe we're questioning. Maybe we are wrapping up a relationship. Maybe we're dividing assets. Maybe we are selling a business, or we're selling a home. All of these things can be very activating emotionally. That's where the full moon is happening. That's where the full moon is urging you to cut ties to anything unhealthy or toxic. And the solar eclipse in Libra happened opposite your 8th house, where the full moon is happening in your 2nd house of earned income, values, self-esteem, self-worth, and material security. The 2nd house is self-reliance. The 8th house, which you're balancing, the 8th house is getting help from others. The 2nd house is I can do it myself. So you're balancing both of these. The task during this full moon is to harmonize the two, and that won't be easy with the Grand Cross that I speak about in part 1. But ultimately, there's a new chapter that is happening for you, and that's focused on you being self-reliant and building your own material security. Doesn't mean you can't get help from others. That is, again, a balance. So beautiful Virgo, let us see what the cards have to say for you. Some of you could be splitting up. I know that's hard, but I have to say, like, some of you could be splitting up from a partner in which you have received perhaps financial blessings. You guys have worked together perhaps on your material security, and now you're going into a new chapter where you are taking on a new level of responsibility perhaps for your own material security. That could be part of this too. So let us see, beautiful Virgo, what the cards have to say for you. Virgo, your card is the Galactic Mushroom, the Divine Matrix. Wow. Wow, check it out. Oh my gosh. So these cards are brand new. I have not read the descriptions before of most of them. And I'm going to give you the sense that I have of this. I mean, the divine matrix, there is the earthly matrix, right? There is the way that we operate on this planet that often comes from our conditioning. It comes from the way that our parents told us we should do life, the way that our teachers told us we should do life. Then there's the divine matrix. You can see this divine mushroom, galactic mushroom. You can see all of the green. This is supremely healing. For those of you who need a heart healing, for those of you who need a physical healing, this is offering its healing to you. At the same time, it is saying it's time to tap into the divine matrix because there is a whole new way of perceiving life. There's a whole new way of perceiving you. Your power lies in tapping into the divine matrix, tapping into the power, the magic of you being able to co-create with the divine. So beautiful Virgo, this is a gorgeous card. And also when I see all the green, I think of your earth energy, Virgo. There is a whole new level of power. This now I'm getting it. Okay, there's a whole new level of power. The full moon's happening in your 8th house of power. There's a whole new level of power that is asserting itself to you. See me, see me. Let me show you. Let me show you how I can help you. You are going to get divine help for this next level of your own self-reliance and material security by tapping into the divine matrix. Beautiful Virgo, if you want to claim your connection to the divine matrix and your new sense of power, let us know in the comments below. Leo, hello, beautiful Leo. Leo, you are going to experience this full moon in Aries in your 9th house of expansion. You are getting a trine from this full moon. It is beautifully harmonizing with your energy. You're probably going to really love this full moon. Yes, it's making a lot of challenging aspects to the other planets, and you may feel some of that, but big picture, I think you're going to feel a real wind at your back during this full moon. Your fire and Aries fire are teaming up to catapult you into the next level, some of you, of spiritual awakening, of higher learning. You could say yes to a course. You could take on a new degree. You could, and I'm talking about academic degree or just like a metaphysical certification course. Long distance travel, living in another country, traveling to another country, publishing something, letting go of a spiritual belief that doesn't fit you anymore. There's definitely, for some of you, even though it's a trine, it can be an ease in cutting ties to something that is just not appropriate for you anymore, such as a religion or some sort of belief that has been holding you back. Whatever is holding us back, we are tasked to cut ties to it during this full moon. You are balancing this with your 3rd house energies, which is where the solar eclipse in Libra took place, and that made a sextile to you also. That was also an opportunity for you, or a solution for you. It was also very harmonious with your energy. And the 3rd house is your mindset, your thinking, your communications, your everyday dealings, tapping into networks, talking with people, getting support on a local level. Siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, neighbors, landlords, and so on. We also put our message out into the world with the 3rd house. So the 3rd house is where the solar eclipse happened for you. The 9th house of expansion is showing you a higher perspective. It's showing you something that is going to take you into the next level of your power so that you can manifest, co-create with the universe, whatever that solar eclipse, new beginning, is for you, beautiful Leo. So let me shuffle for you and let's see what message the cards have for you, Leo. Leo, your card is straddling worlds, wandering between realms. Wow. I love this card. It's number 52. The 5 is change and transformation and new adventures. And the 2 is balance, harmony, and partnership, relationship. you are straddling two worlds. You may feel like you're wandering between two worlds. That can happen, especially with a full moon in the ninth house of expansion. We can definitely, or if you're like between worlds in terms of leaving a country that you've been used to and moving to a new country, you could feel also a little bit like, I've got one foot in each world. You could have gone through a spiritual awakening or will go through a spiritual awakening during this full moon. And I know from my own spiritual awakening experiences, I definitely felt like I had one foot in both worlds. And it was uncomfortable. I have to say, it was very uncomfortable. After a spiritual awakening, you can feel like your actual like earthly 3D life is like a mess. You could feel like that. You could feel like, what just happened? I just went through this amazing, I see with new eyes, I see myself with new eyes, I feel so free. And yet my life doesn't match that, because what happens, everything we've created, if it's out of sync with our new higher vibration, it starts to diminish in value to us. So you could be going through any of this, but what I love about this card is that it validates, hopefully, what some of you may be feeling. It's all about the light. It's all about your crown chakra and your throat chakra, and allowing yourself to speak what you're feeling. If you feel like you're between worlds, if you're uncomfortable, if you don't know where you are, if you feel lost, speak it aloud. Tell somebody what you're feeling, somebody who understands where you are. That will really help. And I can tell you that I have been there multiple times. So if you feel lost, if you feel like there's no one you can talk to about this stuff, which people tell me all the time in astrology readings, all the time in coaching sessions, there's no one I can talk to about this. You can talk to me. I just want you to know you can talk to me if you want to do a reading or coaching session. Leave us a comment in the comments below. I love hearing your comments as well. You are in a brand new trajectory, beautiful Leo. You are stepping into the next greatest version of who you came here to be. And this is something to celebrate. When you're straddling between two worlds, as uncomfortable as it can be, it is really something to celebrate, because it is a marker of your soul's evolution. It is a marker of your own spiritual awakening. And there is nothing that is as ultimately freeing as that, beautiful Leo. Cancer, hello, beautiful Cancer. Cancer. If you are Cancer rising, you are having the full moon in your 10th house of career, legacy, retirement, or semi-retirement, the house of vocation, the house of life purpose expressed. This is where you're being tasked to release and let go of anything that is no longer important to you, relevant for you, or passionate for you. You may be also just cleansing, releasing a way of being in career. For example, if you spend too much time working, if you're not doing the kind of work you want to do, if you feel like you're living a double life and that your passion doesn't align with your career and that's not working for you anymore, there are a lot of different ways that this could play out, but ultimately it's about coming back into integrity. The T-square from the moon and sun to Pluto is saying we have to get back in integrity. We have to be fiercely honest with ourselves about what's not working and make a change. The full moon in Aries is making an opposition to your 4th house of home. That is where you had the Libra solar eclipse, and you are now asked to balance these two worlds. The 4th house is very, very personal. It's the foundation of our chart. It's your home and family sanctuary. It's your private life where you lay back, where you relax. Some of you want a new home. Some of you want to move. Some of you are definitely going to make some sort of change in your home or family environment. In order to do that, you're being shown something that has an energy leak or is toxic or is no longer good for you in your career house or the way you do career. The full moon makes a square to your energy, so this is definitely a turning point. A square means tension, pressure, bringing us motivation to make a change. But this Libra Aries axis, where you are have had eclipses for almost 2 years now. It will be 2 years when we have the last eclipse in Aries next March of 2025. The whole purpose of this axis eclipses on this axis for you, Cancer, has been for you to renovate this area of your life. And I know, as a Cancer rising myself, Cancer rising, Cancer moon, I know that for me, I can validate that this is hard for Cancers because we tend to give our all to everything that we do. We forget that if we give everything to our work, to our family, our loved ones, to you fill in the blank, our partnership, for example, there's nothing left for us. And this is the hardest lesson for Cancers to learn, is like, what does my heart want? And what am I leaking some of my energy out to others that is keeping me from giving myself what I truly want? So that's the big picture of this full moon. And let me shuffle for you now, Cancer, and see what the cards have to say for you. Cancer, your card is, I love it. It's the joyful muse, Cancer. It is inspiration. This card is saying, get playing, start playing, play more. You've been working too hard. Cancer, leave me a comment in the comment, leave me a message, blah, 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 you know what I mean. Comment in the comments below. If you feel that you have not had enough play, that you have not nurtured your inner child delight, if you have not said yes to your heart, if that has been on hold, if you have not just been silly, there's so much green heart healing energy here that will come through when you sing. This is why I love to sing, because it brings me back into my inner child. When you sing, when you dance, when you play an instrument, when you play games with children, when you get on the floor, whatever it is that you do that makes you feel like a kid again, that puts you into your creativity. The creative muse is calling you, Cancer. It's calling you. That's where your inspiration lies. That's going to carry you forward. And this is about freeing yourself to follow your heart. So if you are ready for that, let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Gemini, hello, beautiful Gemini. Gemini, I have my natal sun in Gemini. And those of you who are Gemini risings, you are going to be experiencing this full moon in your 11th house of friendships, social media platforms, your connections online, in groups, in communities. This is also the house of your tribe. It is the house of the dream, your current dream of your life. What brings you fulfillment? What would bring you fulfillment and long-term financial goals? This house is a beautiful house. It corresponds to the World card in the tarot. Sometimes it means we're coming full circle. We're having a completion. A new dream is being sparked. We're looking for new friendships, new alliances. But in order to experience that, we have to end anything that is not healthy for us, or that is toxic, or that isn't giving back to us what we're giving to it. And that may mean a new way of being, shifting a pattern of overgiving, shifting a pattern of overworking, shifting whatever it is for you, Gemini. You know what that is. I'm pretty darn sure. I know what it is for me. I'm pretty darn sure you know what it is. And you could also be experiencing a manifestation here, because full moons do end, culminate, or manifest. But because this full moon has this grand cross involved, for a lot of us, this is going to be cutting ties or ending something in our lives. You, Gemini, are getting a sextile from this energy. This is positive energy flow. This is you seeing an opportunity or knowing that you need a solution and taking an action that brings that to you. So sextiles are really beautiful. They basically say, as long as you take the initiative to call to you what you want, or as long as you're proactive, as long as you are looking for an answer or an opportunity, all you have to do is say yes to it. That is a sextile. You are balancing, Gemini, this full moon in your 11th house with a new chapter, a new dream that is in the realm of your 5th house. That's where the Libra solar eclipse happened for you. That is the house of true love, romance, children, and your unbridled, free, creative expression. So in order to have your Libra solar eclipse, new dream, new chapter occur, you may have to cut ties or release or end something in your 11th house of friendships, alliances, communities, groups, etc. So Gemini, let us see what I've been shuffling. Let us see what the cards have to say for you. Gems, you are being guided to the woodwives, adaptability. Here is your card, beautiful Gemini. There is a lot of red energy, this orangey red energy. When I look at this card, adaptability, to me the message is it's important to be flexible and adaptable, which you are, Gemini. You're a mutable sign, you're air, you have no problem with flowing through change. In fact, you are one of the signs that help everyone move through change and transformation. The woodwives, to me, the woodwives are like muses. And they are saying, tap into nature, tap into the elementals, the fairies, the nymphs, tap into the spiritual realm, the signs, the synchronicities. Ask for those so that you can receive guidance from the ethereal realms. Be adaptable, go with the flow. If you get an obstacle thrown in front of you during this full moon, if something isn't playing out the way you want it to, if you feel and again, you're getting really positive energy flow, you're getting a sextile, so you may not experience any of this, but if you do, there will be other choices, there will be other options, a workaround, and so on, that you will know by following signs and synchronicities and talking to your spiritual guides. When I see this orangey red energy, I think of the root chakra, and I think of how we can be thrown off balance at times by fear that our survival needs won't be met. So if that comes up for you, beautiful gems, tap into your spiritual, magical beingness, because Gemini, you have it. You have one foot in both worlds. You have one foot in the ethereal realm and one foot in this earthly realm. Tap into the ethereal realms in your own magician genius, and the answer you need will come. Taurus, hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, it is getting late, it is dark out, but I am so glad that you are still with me, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, you are will experience the Aries full moon in your 12th house, your 12th house of endings, completions. You're putting something to rest. You are cutting ties, saying no more, I'm done with this. And this could be for some of you an old way of thinking, a low self-esteem way of seeing yourself, perhaps something that you didn't think that you were capable of achieving, perhaps. This full moon is wanting you to change your inner narrative or to reprogram your mind in some way. This is why I speak in part 1 of the video about affirmations, rewriting our story. The 12th house is so beautiful in the sense of helping you tap into the ethereal realms. It's the house of spiritual awakening. It's the house of your divine connection. So you could also feel a beautiful, like full circle manifestation of something that feels very enlivening on a spiritual level. Astral travel, dreams in which your angels come to you and speak to you. A message from a loved one who's crossed over. Signs and synchronicities that remind you that you're a spiritual being on a human adventure. Anything that really catalyzes you and your passion that's from the other world, so to speak, that could happen for you too during this full moon. You are balancing, Taurus, some sort of ending, culmination, or manifestation in these more ethereal realms. You're balancing that with your very earthly daily life, the 6th house. That is where the Libra solar eclipse happened for you, in the 6th house. So there's also for you a call to shift in some way or create a whole new beginning in your daily work, your wellness, your habits, your routines. You may receive an epiphany, some of you, about your health or about your work environment or about your mind-body connection. You may realize that there is something that hasn't been good for you, could have to do with eating habits or exercise, or could have to do with what you're taking in, what you're listening to, the news, perhaps, politics, any of that, like anything that is, this could even be being in an environment where you're having to absorb, not that we have to absorb, but we often do, energy that isn't healthy for you. So you know what it is, Taurus. This will not be any surprise to you. You know what it is. And you're going to be so psychic during this full moon. With a full moon in your 12th house, you're going to be incredibly psychic, and you're going to get any signs or messages that you need. You will not be able to unsee them. They will be loud and clear for you. Pay attention to your dreams during this full moon. You could have really illuminating dreams. So let's see. I've been shuffling. Let's see what the cards have for you, Taurus. Your card is the eyes of the eagle rising above the fray. If there's any fray that is going on in your daily life, it is time to rise above. The eagle sees all. The eagle has the perception of the divine. You are being gifted with divine perception during this full moon. You are being shown something, a revelation, a truth, an epiphany, an awakening that you will not be able to not see. You will have to take action on it. This is a beautiful card validating your higher vibration, your new self, your wisdom, your ability to rise above the fray. You may feel like you have one foot in both worlds during this full moon, for sure. Beautiful Taurus, one foot in the ethereal world, one foot in your earthly life. It can take time after a spiritual awakening to integrate what happened and feel more rooted in your earthly life. But if that happens for you, you can do it. So, beautiful Taurus, if you want to claim the eyes of the eagle, let us know in the comments below. My beautiful friend, this Aries full moon, it is going to be a doozy for a lot of us, but it is also going to help catapult us forward and release and let go of anything that isn't good for us. And it's going to show us, reveal to us a new level of our soul's essence, which will be quite beautiful. I am very curious to see what unfolds for all of us during this full moon. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking this video, for giving it a thumbs up. Thank you for leaving me a comment. Thank you for sharing this video to your friends or family who love astrology. And thank you for subscribing to my channel. When you subscribe, you send a message to the algorithm that then suggests this video to more people who love astrology, and you really help support my work. If you would like to know how this full moon is aspecting the natal planets or points in your chart, if you would like to know how this whole eclipse season that we are still moving through is impacting you, what new chapter in your life is getting jump-started, how is Pluto leaving Capricorn and entering Aquarius possibly affecting your chart and your life, and any other transits that are going on right now. You could be having a Saturn transit. You could be having a Uranus transit. It's different for all of you depending on your natal astrology chart, but this and more is what I really appreciate being able to illuminate for you: when transits started, when they're ending, and how you can best empower yourself during this time. Because we are absolutely entering a new era, and we have never been here before. We have never been in this territory. It's brand new for our souls. And of course, we're going to have questions as a result of entering a whole new era. So if you are intrigued, go to my website, check out my astrology offerings. I offer you heart's desire, life purpose, natal chart, synastry readings, and more. And I also offer clarity coaching. So go to my website, check out my coaching and astrology pages, and you will get a sense of what is the best fit for you. Read the testimonials that other clients have shared after working with me, and that will give you a sense of whether you feel called to work with me. I have a free gift for you, and that free gift is a soothing guided meditation connecting you to your heart, connecting you to your spirit, to your unconditionally loving guides and divine love. To receive that soothing guided meditation, just go to my website, subscribe to my inspirational astrology weekly updates for free, and you will get that instant download right away. My beautiful friend, how are you feeling about this Aries full moon? Leave me a comment. Let us know in the comments below. And until my next video, I am sending you all my love.